If you've ever read the Narnia books, you've probably wondered, where did the White Witch actually come from? Or maybe the bigger question, why in the world is there a lamppost in the middle of a forest? Well, let's get into it because the answers go way, way back, long before the Pevensey kids ever found that wardrobe. So to get to the bottom of this, our story doesn't even start in Narnia. Nope. It starts in Old London with two kids, Polly and Diggory. And Diggory's, well, let's just say his very strange Uncle Andrew. It's one of those classic cold, wet summers, the kind that forces kids to find their own adventures indoors. So Polly and Diggory start exploring this tunnel that connects their houses. But wouldn't you know it, they take a wrong turn and end up in the one room they were absolutely told to stay away from, Uncle Andrew's forbidden study. And yeah, they find a magician in there, but let's be clear, Uncle Andrew is no Gandalf. He's more of a peddling magician, just a dabbler who messes with things he doesn't really get. He's vain, he's cowardly, and he's a total contrast to the real magic, the truly terrifying power they're about to unleash on the world, the kind of power that has some serious consequences. So in this incredible act of cowardice, Uncle Andrew tricks Polly. He goads her into touching one of these strange yellow rings, and poof. Just like that, she vanishes. No flash, no sound, she's just gone. And now Diggory is faced with this awful choice. Does he leave his friend, or does he follow her into who knows where? So Diggory follows, and he finds Polly, but they're not in some other world. They're in this quiet, sleepy, almost dreamlike forest. This is the wood between the worlds, and it's basically a hub connecting all the worlds. Each one of these little pools is a doorway to a different universe. This is a level of magic Uncle Andrew couldn't even comprehend. So what do you do when you find a bunch of doorways to other universes? Well, if you're a kid, you explore. They jump into a new pool, and what they find on the other side is just silence. Absolute, deafening silence. They're in a dead world, totally in ruins, all under this cold, giant red sun. They wander into this massive hall, and it's filled with these figures that look like wax statues, kings and queens, all enchanted. And in the middle of it all, there's a small bell and a hammer. But it's the inscription next to it that gets Diggory. It's basically a magical dare, practically begging him to strike the bell, promising that he'll go mad, wondering what would have happened if he didn't. I mean, what would you do? Polly is begging him, don't do it. But that temptation, that need to know what happens next, it's just too much for him. He gives in. He strikes the bell, and this one single note just shatters the silence of this dead world. And that one note is all it takes. The last figure in the hall, a tall queen, begins to stir. This is Jadis, the last queen of Charn. And as she awakens, she tells them this horrifying story. She's the one who destroyed her world. She used a single magic word, the deplorable word, to kill every living thing except herself, all to win a war against her sister. And her justification is just chilling. I was the queen. They were all my people. What else were they there for but to do my will? I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about her, right? For Jadis, other people aren't even people. They're just tools for her to use. She feels absolutely zero remorse. So naturally, the kids are terrified, and they try to get out of there. They grab their rings to go back to the wood, but Jadis is way too fast. She lunges and grabs onto them just as they vanish. And just like that, they've accidentally brought this ancient, world-destroying evil back with them to London. And, well, Victorian London is not prepared for Jadis. Not even a little bit. She terrifies Uncle Andrew, throws Aunt Letty across the room, and then just goes on a rampage. She hijacks a horse-drawn cab, rips an iron bar from a lamppost to use as a club. It's just complete and utter chaos. Diggory, in a total panic, decides he has to get her out of his world. He grabs his ring, but in the chaos of the riot, he ends up pulling everyone who's touching him along for the ride. So it's not just him and Polly, it's the witch, his uncle, the poor London cabbie, and even the horse, Strawberry. The whole gang gets transported. But they don't end up back in Charn, or even the wood between the worlds. They land in nothing. Just pure, silent, empty darkness. It's a void, a world waiting to be born. And then, out of that complete blackness, a voice begins to sing. It's this deep, beautiful, powerful song. And as it sings, things start to happen. The blackness overhead suddenly blazes with stars. A sun appears. The ground forms beneath their feet. A world is literally being sung into existence. And the voice belongs to one being, a huge, magnificent lion. They soon learn his name is Aslan. And as he walks through this brand new world, his song brings everything to life. Grass, trees, flowers, and soon, all the animals of Narnia. Jadis sees this, and she recognizes this creative magic is so much stronger than her own destructive kind. And she despises it, so she takes that iron bar she ripped from the London lamppost and hurls it right at Aslan's head. And it just bounces off harmlessly. Her power means nothing here. And where that piece of London iron falls, something amazing happens. A brand new, complete lamppost starts to grow right out of the ground. Now, Diggory sees all this happening. He sees Aslan's incredible power, and he works up the courage to go talk to him. He confesses everything, that it was his fault the witch is now in this perfect new world. And then he makes a brave, heartbreaking request. He asks if Aslan has anything that could cure his mother, who is terribly sick back in London. Aslan understands, but first things first. He explains that the evil Diggory unleashed in Narnia has to be dealt with, so he gives Diggory a chance to make things right. A quest. He has to journey to a hidden garden, pluck a single silver apple from a special tree, and bring it back. This apple will be the seed of a great tree that will protect Narnia from the witch. But when Diggory gets to the garden, who does he find there? Jadis. She's already eaten one of the apples for herself, gaining immortal life. And then she lays the ultimate temptation on Diggory. She tells him to forget Aslan, forget Narnia. Just take one of these magic apples, go back to his own world, and heal his mother. It's everything he wants, right there in his hand. And this is the moment of truth. He resists. He chooses to do the right thing, even though it's the harder thing. And in that moment, all our questions are answered. The lamppost grew from that iron bar. The White Witch, that's Jadis, who fled to the north. And Narnia itself, sung into being by Aslan. It all clicks into place. Because Diggory was faithful, Aslan gives him a gift after all, one of the silver apples to take home. And it works. It completely heals his mother. He plants the apple core in his backyard, and this amazing tree grows from it. A tree that has a little bit of Narnia's magic right in its wood. Years and years later, that tree finally gets blown down in a storm. By now, Diggory is an old professor. He can't stand the thought of just getting rid of this magical wood, so he has it made into something. A piece of furniture. A wardrobe. And that, right there, is how the very first gateway between our world and the land of Narnia was created, just waiting for the next children to find it.